I'll be completely honest and transparent with y'all. I don't know a lot about JD Vance, but trust me, I'm gonna have a whole lot of time from now and the next 4 years to learn about him. But anyhow, Kamala Harris, she's the worst VP this country has ever seen. I don't care what nobody said, but she want to sit here and talk about JD Vance being loyal to America, or his loyalty to America or not. Some variation of that. Y'all check this out.
Hey everyone, so Donald Trump has picked his new running mate, JD Vance. Trump looked for someone he knew would be a rubber stamp for his extreme agenda, and make no mistake, JD Vance will be loyal only to Trump, not to our country. And unlike Mike Pence, Vance said he would have carried out Trump's plan to overturn the 2020 election. He supports a national abortion ban and voted against protecting IVF. And if elected, he will help implement the extreme Project 2025 plan for a second Trump term, which would target critical programs like Head Start and Medicare. But we are not going to let that happen.
We can kind of clearly see that y'all are trying not to let that happen. I mean, the attempt on his life, you know, before that, we seen what y'all tried to do to him in the media with his reputation. But after that, we seen what y'all tried to do with him in the court. Yeah. Okay. And on top of that, this is Kamala Harris's first public comment on Trump's assassination attempt.
As we all know, it was a heinous, horrible, and cowardly act. My husband Doug and I are thankful he was not seriously injured. That day, as soon as we saw what was happening, we said a prayer for his well-being. And our thoughts immediately turned to Melania, who we have met, and their family. The bottom line is no one should have to fear for the safety of a loved one because they serve in public office. Our heart goes out to the family of Corey Comparator, a true hero who died protecting his family. And Doug and I, of course, are holding them close in our hearts.
Out of all people, Kamala Harris want to sit here and call another VP out. Wow. I mean, obviously they have to debate and all this other stuff to prove who is the best candidate. But what? If he's elected, he will help implement Extreme Project 2025 plan for a second Trump term. Like, the sensationalism, the propaganda that they try to spew into people's minds is just, it's baffling. Like, they tend to forget that we actually experienced Donald Trump in the office, and they tend to forget that Donald Trump has distanced himself from the Project 2025. Not saying that he necessarily disagrees with some of the things that are in there, or completely agrees with some of the things that are in there, because I'm on that way. Some things I like, some things I don't. But he's publicly stated that Agenda 47 is his plan. But the left is gonna continue to try to put this in people's minds. They're going to continue to try to use fear-mongering tactics. Let me calm down, y'all. I'm a little hype right now, and I'm talking all over my own words right now. A clown word responded with, "You're a clown," under this video. And read a few more comments. "You're the worst VP in history. Probably better if you sit this one out." Yeah, you should probably sit this one out. Are we still talking about MAGA Republicans being extremists? I know, right? Especially after what we just witnessed. Is this the toning down of the dangerous rhetoric that you guys were talking about a few days ago? Look in the mirror. It is the same rhetoric that caused what we seen on J13, okay? Now, we'll turn this over to Rob Smith. He's speaking on JD Vance, Kamala Harris's quote about JD Vance will be loyal to only Trump and not to our country. And he's, Rob that is, explaining the difference between JD and Kamala. They are not the same.
So Kamala Harris says that JD Vance will only be loyal to Trump, not this country. So JD Vance joined the Marine Corps, all right? And right after 9/11, he joined the Marine Corps. He deployed to Afghanistan in 2005. We're on the same era that I was in that I was in Iraq serving with the 4th Infantry Division. So this is a man that actually put his life on the line for America. This is a man that actually served, that actually wore the uniform, that actually put something on the line. Kamala Harris is yet another DC bureaucrat that's run around in swampy circles for her entire career and lucked her way into the vice presidency, a role in which she is woefully unqualified for, she has been an absolute disaster at, and nobody likes her in, okay? So what you have to understand is the difference between these two people. The difference between a J.D. Vance and a Kamala Harris is the difference that we are really going through in American politics right now, which is, do we want to be represented and do we want to be governed by people who actually make the sacrifices that make America great? Do we want to be governed by people who actually have made sacrifices for this country, or do we want to be governed by people who have done absolutely nothing but run around in DC swampy circles and achieve elected office, right? We are going through right now in this country the disastrous presidency of Joe Biden, somebody who has done little of note in his entire existence except continue to be elected into office. And he's literally worked his way up to the presidency, in which he's been an absolute disaster at. So it's going to be very interesting to see Kamala Harris and J.D. Vance side by side on a stage together in the fall when they do their presidential debate. Because America is going to be given a choice. We are going to be given a choice as to, do we want to be governed by people who have sacrificed, people who have actually done something and achieved something in this world, or do we want to continue to be governed by bureaucrats who have done nothing but get elected, beg for donor money, and sell all of us down the river for the past 50 years in Washington, D.C.
I appreciate that, Rob. You just gave me a lesson, man. You just taught me a little bit more about J.D. Vance. Definitely with everything that's going on right now. At the time that he got announced to be the VP, it was so much so much information hitting the internet since J13 that it's been real distracting. I haven't set aside enough time to actually do my digging into him. But based off of what you just said, on paper alone, this man actually put his life on the line for this country. You know what I mean? So, and I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna agree with everything that he's done or said in the past. I'm pretty sure I don't agree with everything you've done or said in the past, and vice versa. You don't agree. So, I'm not saying that I'm just gonna totally fall in love with all his ideologies and nothing like that, but just off of that merit alone, man, and him being around Trump, I'll generally say that he seems like a good person. But we definitely know he's a very strong person because he actually went and put his life on the line to protect you and I. But you got people like Kamala Harris out here saying that insinuating that he's pretty much less than qualified for the position that she's holding. And we all know that she's a DEI hire. I mean, we all know that, but she don't. Let's read some of these. Agree they are not the same. One is pro-democracy and the other one is anti-democracy. I'm pro, constitutional republic, but, hey, we get what you was doing there. I get it. Somebody said, but Kamala had to blow her way up to the top. It is not fair. Damn the patriarchy. She definitely did. Y'all go look up on Montel Williams. Anyhow, he is going to rock on the debate. She will pull the race card, the sexist card, as the last ditch. Definitely. These are the tactics that they use on the left all the time. Actually, I'm not even surprised by that. I thought it was actually something that goes without saying. But Tulsi Gabbard, I'm sorry, I formed your name. This beautiful woman right here. She says, she's talking about Kamala Harris's claim that J.D. Vance will be loyal only to Trump and not our country. And she goes on to reiterate what Rob says. Let's go ahead and dive into it.
Shortly after President Trump announced that J.D. Vance is going to be his running mate in this election, Kamala Harris issued this scathing warning to the American people, saying, make no mistake, J.D. Vance will be loyal only to Trump, not to our country. The audacity that she has to say this is off the charts. She's talking about J.D. Vance, someone who enlisted in the Marine Corps after the terrorist attack on 9/11, someone who deployed to Iraq in 2005, the same year that I was there during the height of that war, putting his own life on the line in service to our country. Was Kamala Harris willing to put her own life on the line in service to our country at any time in the past? Is she now? No. Kamala Harris is driven by her own political ambition. She's a self-serving politician who should not be in office.
I was about to say, You should have been VP, but I wouldn't have wished that on you with Joe Biden being the president. Honestly, though, you know, we would have to take what we could. If we have a little bit of common sense behind them, I'll take it. But yeah, they have nothing else to do but fear-mongering. And the audacity of somebody, like Tulsi Gabbard said, the audacity of somebody like Kamala Harris to sit there and try to denounce the accomplishments of somebody who actually put their life on the line to save people like you and me. You and me? Same woman that'll make everything about race, but that man went there and fought, put his life on the line. Let me say that like that. Put his life on the line for the country, for all of us. Yeah, black, white, Puerto Rican, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like he put his life on the line for this country and for the greater good of the American people and our future. And you, meanwhile, you know, your way to the top. You know what I'm saying? The sheer utter difference in respect I have for these two people is just astonishing to me, man. It's a clear difference, and I don't even know much about JD Vance. I don't know why my brain was trying hard not to say advance. However, the internet is undefeated, and before we get back to the seriousness of this topic, let's go ahead and have a little laugh real quick, y'all. Meet Kamala Harris. For real, like, meet her. This version of her.
Senator Vance. Yeah, no, this is Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm wearing a black suit, and I just want to... Hello? Hello? Huh. I think we got disconnected. Yeah, I was thinking we can practice before the debate. Hello? What's your name? Jean-Claude Van Damme Pierre. We need another line. Do we have another number for him? He seems burdened by what has been. Yeah, we keep getting disconnected, Senator Vance. It's like you fell out of a coconut tree.
We've been burdened by what has been.
Hello? I lost him again. I got you state-of-the-art knee pads. Hello? You don't have to use them. You just give them to your wife.
Told y'all we gotta laugh to keep from crying. But speaking of JD Vance's wife, she actually introduced JD Vance. She did his introduction before he took the stage and gave his speech. Let's go ahead and give a little, moment to hear out. He gave maybe about a 40-minute speech. We definitely ain't gonna have time to dive into all that, but we're gonna hit some of the major points.
I met JD in law school when he was fresh out of Ohio State, which he attended with the support of the GI Bill. We were friends first because, who wouldn't want to be friends with JD? He was then, as now, the most interesting person I knew. A working-class guy who had overcome childhood traumas that I could barely fathom to end up at Yale Law School. A tough Marine who had served in Iraq, but whose idea of a good time was playing with puppies and watching the movie Babe. The most determined person I knew with one overriding ambition: to become a husband and a father, and to build the kind of tight-knit family that he had longed for as a child.
She went on to give a very, very touching speech. Something that I thought was very genuine, but when I got to the internet, we seen nothing but comparisons. Oh, he's a white man dating an Indian woman. Oh, yeah, I can't trust him. Oh, they don't seem happy together. Oh, she looks terrified, and all this type of stuff, bro. It just makes you like, yo, what country am I living in? Honestly, where am I? People are heartless out here. And then, in my opinion, him being married to an Indian woman just literally shows you how beautiful it is to be in America. So much diversity here. So much so that you can come here without being tortured for your love interest. I'm sure you're going to have some haters for sure, But generally speaking, you have the opportunity to Love who you want. Be who you want. Now, JD went on to credit his mother for his success today because of a lot that they went through, man. Y'all got to check this out.
And our movement is about single moms like mine who struggled with money and addiction but never gave up. And I'm proud to say that tonight my mom is here, 10 years clean and sober. I love you, Mom. And you know, Mom, I was thinking it'll be 10 years officially in January of 2025. And if President Trump's okay with it, let's have the celebration in the White House. And our movement, ladies and gentlemen, it's about grandparents all across this country who are living on Social Security.
I will say this, watching his speech last night in its entirety was definitely very touching. God bless her. God bless him. I've seen a lot of people saying how they were touched by it and crying and very emotional at this response. But his mom did a very good job of raising a respectable young man. Well, older than me, but young man in comparison, right? And you could just tell she was overjoyed, man. I can only imagine being a parent sitting there looking at your son, who's the number 2 guy, in America. You have the president, then you got the vice president. I can only imagine, man. Wishing them good luck. I'm telling y'all, Kamala? Anybody but Kamala.